now? Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. Yeah, we most definitely in the building. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear everything now? Let me know. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. What's up, Libra? Can y'all hear me? Well ago I had no sound. Can y'all hear me now? Already, we got sound now. Let's go. What's up, squad? What's up with it, Libra? What's up, Cupcake? All right, we got sound now. We most definitely in the building, y'all. Well, it's a lot going on within politics, guys. They calling for Pam Bondi to be impeached over the Epstein files. We got Pete Hegseth done held a press conference basically to show everybody what it is they plan to do with the Iran situation. Trump has spoke on the Iran situation and basically is not happy over Iran's new supreme leader. Oh yeah, they have most definitely named a brand new supreme leader in Iran, and it's the son of the former supreme leader who Trump took out. And they say that the son is worse than the father, guys. Yeah, real talk. It's a lot going on. Let's get right to it, man. Sorry about a while ago. Make sure you guys are double tapping that screen. That's how you hit the like button. Or you can click the three dots, hit that thumbs up. That's another way to hit the like button. Everything News is most definitely in the building. Let's go.
Supreme Leader Moshtaba Khamenei is the son of the late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. I want to bring in CNN's Jeremy Diamond, who is standing by in Tel Aviv as we get this breaking news. Jeremy, what are you hearing from your sources?
Yeah, Jessica, this is just in from Iran's Assembly of Experts. This is the body of senior Iranian clerics responsible for electing the next supreme leader. And they have now chosen, just over a week after the assassination of the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, they have chosen his son, Moshtaba Khamenei, as his successor. He is a 56-year-old.
The son of the former supreme leader is now the supreme leader of Iran. And like I just told y'all, they say he is worse than his father.
Who is known for having close ties to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and he will, in large part, his selection here will, in large part, be viewed as a continuation of his father's rule, and quite a hardline kind of stance for this Iranian body of experts to be choosing as the next supreme leader of Iran. The two other candidates who had been in the running to potentially be named as the next supreme leader were viewed as the more moderate candidates, and so clearly these senior Iranian clerics choosing to kind of continue the legacy of the Ayatollah Khamenei, who ruled for decades in Iran, by choosing another Khamenei, Moshtaba Khamenei. Interestingly, he was also apparently among the individuals who were targeted in those opening Israeli strikes last Saturday, which saw the killing of the former supreme leader as well as dozens of other senior Iranian officials. Moshtaba Khamenei was wounded in that strike, according to reports. His wife was also killed.
Lord, have mercy, man. Make sure y'all are double tapping that screen. If you're just now getting in here, double tap that screen, guys, if you're on a mobile device, or click the three dots, hit that thumbs up as we find out more about the new Iranian supreme leader, guys, the son of the former leader.
In that very same strike. So now we see the direction that Iran is heading in the wake of the assassination of the longtime supreme leader. It's also important to note that this is someone who President Trump has said would be unacceptable to him in terms of leading Iran in the future. The president had said in an interview with Axios a few days ago that Moshtaba Khamenei was a, quote, lightweight, and that choosing him was unacceptable, that this would be viewed as something that would kind of continue the direction of Iran. President Trump, of course, has said that he would like to have a say in the future direction of Iran, kind of likening this to the same same scenario that just happened in Venezuela, but we are watching as this, very heavily ingrained system in Iran that has ruled the country for decades is remaining in power and electing another Khamenei as its next leader.
All right, Jeremy, I want you to please stand by. We're going to come back to you. I do want to go to Fred Pleiken, our colleague who is in Tehran. Fred, what are you hearing about this, the new Supreme Leader?
Hi there, Jessica. Well, this announcement was made, I would say, about 20 minutes ago on Iranian state TV. It was a very low-key announcement. It was basically read out. They broke into their newscast.
Yeah, that is his audio, not mine, guys. Iran has named a new supreme leader.
And seeing the sort of what happened there on Iranian state TV, there were still screens that showed some gatherings that are happening in the night. It's going on right now during these times of these combat operations, that there are nighttime vigils going on in several Iranian cities. And some of the people who were at those vigils seemed to start cheering as the new supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was announced as the new supreme leader, third supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran. There was a statement also from the council experts saying
his audio is horrible, guys. Let's see how long he stays up here, if they straighten it out some or something.
Something that has been going on, obviously also some of the words
yeah, we're going to get past you,
President Donald Trump. Nevertheless, they said
I believe we also have Clarissa Ward standing by in Erbil, Iraq. Clarissa, obviously, the question now is what might the new Ayatollah mean for Iran's actions moving forward? Obviously, they have been striking where you are in Erbil and been trying to strike U.S. air bases as well. What more can you tell us?
Well, Jessica, I think this comes as a surprise to nobody. It has been speculated now for a few days that Mojtaba Khamenei would indeed be announced as the new supreme leader. The real question here is, what will be the response of President Donald Trump? What will be the response of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? The Israelis have previously...
So Trump doesn't like the fact that the son of the old supreme leader is now the new one. Trump is not in favor of this.
Made it clear that he would not be a palatable choice for them, because he is absolutely a sign of the continuation of the old guard.
Just think about it. Trump unalives your father, and then you take your father's place. Do y'all think that the son may try to get revenge for the father, and that's why Trump is not in big favor of this?
Hardliners. He has a close relationship with the IRGC, a close relationship with the besieged paramilitary voluntary force. He was sanctioned by the U.S. in 2019. And I think something else that's very striking, just talking to some Iranian sources and contacts in the diaspora, is that many Iranians have barely ever heard this man speak. This is somebody who has largely been in the shadows, even though he was known to be powerful and wielding a lot of influence in the background. He is not what you might say a familiar face on Iranian televisions, or a familiar...
Shout out to EJ for grabbing that membership.
Voice. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the response is from the U.S. and Israel, and what kind of comments we may hear from him, and what that portends for the direction that this conflict is taking. Certainly, a lot of people will not be feeling overly optimistic about this, depending on which side of this war they sit on. Here in the region, there is just a desperate desire, Jessica, for everybody to try to find some kind of a diplomatic off-ramp. We have seen a steady stream of attacks across the entire Gulf, here in Iraq, where there are now real tensions between the Kurdish leaders, between the government in Baghdad. We heard the Iranian president just yesterday saying, you know what, we apologize for these attacks and they're not going to happen anymore. And within moments, we saw a drone hit the Dubai airport. And those attacks have continued in today. A big strike in Kuwait, hitting a ministry, a 22-floor building engulfed in flames. Fortunately, no one died. In Bahrain, a desalination plant was hit. And it's clear that people in the region and leaders in the region are getting increasingly frustrated and running out of road in terms of holding this position of trying to be patient, to not allow things to escalate. We heard the leader of the United Arab Emirates yesterday in very rare comments, really issuing a stern rebuke, calling Iran the enemy. That's not language that we have heard before.
Well, when I said be in battle with them, they most definitely is considered the enemy.
Also saying that that the Iranian government should not confuse the restraint and the patience at this stage of the United Arab Emirates for weakness. So I think for many this will be seen potentially as an ominous sign that this conflict is going to continue to escalate, Jessica.
Yeah, and Iran had hoped that in striking some of those goal states that perhaps they would then turn around and put pressure on the U.S. and Israel. As you note, that has not happened just yet. Clarissa, I think a lot of people, too, we hear regime change a lot. We have heard that.
Thank you for that 5, Ms. Pooh Bear. I appreciate it.
From Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been quite clear about that being an objective for the Israelis. The U.S. and President Trump have talked about it, but not made it a clear objective when they listed out from the Pentagon. What might this mean, naming Moshtaba Khamenei as the new supreme leader? What might that mean in that conversation?
Well, let's think about what President Trump has said. In the beginning, he talked about Iranian people take to the streets, take your country back. Then he seemed to row that back a little bit and say, no, we're focused on 3 strategic objectives, the nuclear sites, the missiles, Iran's navy. Then he talked again about people taking to the streets and taking their country back. And then he has talked a few times about the success in his eyes of the Venezuela model and Delcy Rodriguez and how well that has worked out. Well, you can be pretty sure, Jessica, and I'm not an Iran expert, but still, I think it's safe to speculate that Moshtaba Khamenei is not going to be a Delcy Rodriguez model, by which I mean he will not be a candidate or a supreme leader who can be pragmatic and work with the U.S. and Israel and effectively be some kind of a puppet while still maintaining the sort of cohesion of the regime within Iran. So this is clearly a rebuke to President Trump in that sense, and it remains to be seen how the U.S. president will respond, Jessica.
Yeah, it certainly does. All right, Clarissa.
All right, so y'all heard that Iran has a new supreme leader, guys, as far as, when it comes to Trump telling them to take their country back. Well, Trump most definitely responded to all of this, and he also outlined some of the plans and strategies that's being used in Iran right now. Let's hear what Trump had to say, guys. Double tap that screen if you have not. That's how you hit that like button if you're on a mobile device, or click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up, man, as we see Trump react to the new leader of Iran, as well as give some of his strategies for Iran.
We've left some of the most important targets for later in case we need to do it. If we hit them, it's going to take many years for them to be rebuilt, having to do with electricity production and many other things. So we're not looking to do that if we don't have to.
Dominique.
But they're the kind of things that are very easy to hit, but very devastating if they are hit. We are waiting to see what happens before we hit them. We could take them all out in one day, but it's all resulting in a 90% decline in various things, but in particular, Iranian missile launchers and 83% drop in drone launchers. As you know, the drone launchers are pretty well shot, but we're at over 90% decline in the Iranian missile launchers, which is very hard to reproduce and very hard to get. And usually what we were able to do through great equipment, a lot of smart people, as soon as they sent a missile up from a launcher, we were able to knock out that launcher within a period of 5 minutes or less, accurately right on the noggin. So now we have low-cost interceptors effectively combating Iranian drones. And our B-2 bombers recently dropped.
Come on, guys, let's work on that like button. Double tap that screen if you're in the building. If you have not hit that like button, man, hit the like button. We need the likes over 100. We need as many people to hit the like button as possible. And the way you do that, if you're on a mobile device, double tap that screen or click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up, man. It helps out the channel. Let's go.
Dozens of 2,000-pound bombs to destroy missile launchers all over Iran.
What's up, IGT?
Very deep under Iranian soil in many cases. The soil was no match. And we're also annihilating the manufacturing base that the regime uses to build drones and missiles at a rate that nobody thought was possible. We're knocking them out. We know where they all are. We're knocking them out.
Get the rocket ships in the chat, man. You know, IGT swiped your fast, boy. You got deported. Talking about don't hit the dislike button. Let's dislike you right up out of here on one of those rocket ships that's in the chat. Send you on about your business. Go watch it somewhere else. We'll holler at you.
Out very quickly. We're ahead of our initial timeline by a lot. I would say that we probably would not have thought after a month we'd be here. In addition to the fact that we've taken out the leadership twice and maybe three times. And we, as you know, we want to be involved. We don't want another president that maybe wouldn't be willing to do what I'm willing to do for the good of the world, for the good of our nation, to be stuck with a situation in 5 years or 10 years from now. So we think they should put a president in, or the head of the country in, that's going to be able to do something peacefully for a change. They've been doing this for 47 years, killing people for 47 years, whether it's the barracks or even the SS Cole where they were involved. Very strongly, they always denied it. But where they were very strongly involved, and all of the people that died through the roadside bombs, died and are right now walking around with no legs, no arms, a face that's been so badly damaged. The Iranian regime has been attacking Americans and spreading terror for 47 years, and despite these countless opportunities to renounce their nuclear ambitions, which they had just a short while ago, they told Mr. Witkoff.
I think Trump's speeches are very good when he doesn't read. When he just speaks off his head, is better. You can tell that he's reading here. But he's basically telling what's going on in Iran right now, guys, as far as the battle is concerned.
Is standing right over here. They said, they actually said, we want to keep building. Essentially, in a real nutshell, we want to continue to build nuclear weapons. If we didn't knock out Midnight Hammer, if we didn't knock out their Iranian potential, if we didn't...
Come on, guys, we need 13 more likes, man. 13 more people in the building. Double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device, or click those three dots and hit that thumbs up, man. Let's get the likes up. It helps the channel, guys. No reason why we shouldn't be over 100 already. Double tap that screen, guys.
Do that with Midnight Hammer. They would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have used it long before now. And at a minimum, Israel would have been annihilated. I was very lucky that we had the courage to do that, that we had the talented pilots and the great equipment. The B-2 bombers are unbelievable. We ordered 25 more, by the way. The newer, better version. It's, we have the greatest military in the world. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. You see that no matter where we go. You still need the people, though, to operate it and to use it. And those are the people that we cherish. Even after we obliterated their key nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, they never negotiated in good faith. They still continued to say, we want to build nuclear, we want enrichment at levels that were unacceptable. And they even turned down an offer for unlimited free nuclear fuel forever for civilian purposes. We had people offering them free nuclear fuel. They weren't interested in that because they wanted to build a nuclear weapon. So instead, the regime was trying to reconstitute its weapons program at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the three sites that we obliterated, but they were starting work at another site, a different site, different kind of a site. And that was protected by granite.
Somebody down there type lies, lies, and more lies.
They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process while rapidly building conventional ballistic missiles. They were going to do it all at the same time. It threatened our overseas bases and soon could have reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which are now being used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully used because we have been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of.
Says America has one of the most advanced military in the world, guys. What do y'all think about that, man? He's saying that they're hitting precise targets over there in Iran, basically rendering them helpless in so many words. Let's let him continue.
At a lot less cost, do the work of what the Patriots are doing or what other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching the point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice,
so this is Trump telling why he went ahead and attacked Iran, guys.
They did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors came onto our side and started attacking them, and actually quite successfully. If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE, Qatar, and others, but they were strong and they were smart, but they got attacked. Nobody, when I first heard it, I said, no, somebody made a mistake. There was no mistake. UAE had over 1,000 missiles shot at it, knocked them almost all down. On the very first day I came down the escalator in 2015, I said, quote, I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And all I'm doing is keeping my promise. Think of that. That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that way. As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world, inspecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that, too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it. Because you have to keep the straits
So
flowing.
how do y'all feel about the battle in Iran, guys? I ask this every show. Do y'all think that this is personal for Trump, or is this political? You know, remember, Trump was a target during his first term by Iran. They even put money on his head, guys. And as soon as he gets back in there this time, he most definitely goes after them again. They was after him before because the unaliving of like the one of the military guys over there, Soleimani, he took him out. They vowed revenge, guys, and they've been at Trump ever since. And Trump most definitely jumped in there as soon as he got back in office, and we attacked Iran.
With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have
Soldiers
so
say
much
it's
oil.
definitely personal.
We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out so wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president, and it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil.
Make sure you guys are subscribing if you're new. This is Trump on what's going on in Iran right now. Remember to subscribe to the channel, man. Also hit that like button by double tapping the screen on your mobile device, or click those 3 dots, hit that thumbs up, guys. It helps out the channel.
Through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed, we'll escort them right through. And we have the greatest mine-sweeping ability. We have the greatest ships, and all of them. We know exactly where they're placed. We'll get them out of there very fast.
Hey,
but
Miss T.
we hope we don't have any of that. And again, if they do that, if they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands since their last hit.
Says Iran was looking to take over the Middle East. Do y'all believe it?
They had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud.
Trump, what does them trying to take over the Middle East got to do with America, Trump? I'm just saying, I think this is kind of personal for Trump. That's what I think, and he just needed a reason
to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder. Thank you very much for being here. Go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Do you approve of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very...
Oh, yeah. I also heard allegedly that China and Russia may be involved in this situation as well soon. Have anybody else heard anything else on that situation with Russia and China looking to join forces with Iran against America, guys? Let me know if you heard it too. Have a blessed day. He lies too much. All right, Tannis, thank you for that 5.
A good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the Ukraine-Russia war over with. That would be more helpful. But we had a very good talk, and he wants to be very constructive. Yeah, please.
Somebody says China has just been waiting for the opportunity. Okay. Okay, that ain't what it. Nope. Isn't it so cool? Say, oh my goodness, Trump. All right, never mind. Somebody down there said that China been waiting on the opportunity to get at America.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over?
No,
Are you talking
but soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay, and with respect
Very soon. Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are two levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But two levels of leadership are gone. Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very, very powerful, very effective.
to Cuba, you said that Cuba wants to make a deal.
Yes.
What would the United States get in return for that? And why should Americans trust Marco Rubio to negotiate it?
Well, Marco Rubio is doing a great job. I think he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in history. Look at what we've done as a presidency. Look at what we've done as an administration. They trust Marco, and so do the American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice and always helpful. But he's dealing, and it may be a friendly take.
Let's get the likes up, guys. Double tap that screen if you have not. We need 50 more likes to hit 200. Double tap that screen if you are in the building, guys. Mobile devices, double tap that screen or click the three dots, hit that thumbs up. Trump is telling us about his plans for Iran, and most definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new.
Over, it may not be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter because they're really they're down to, as they say, fumes. They have no energy, they have no money. They're in deep trouble on a humanitarian basis. And we don't want to see that, but they were very, very bad to a lot of people, as you know, and a lot of people living on the Cuban-American vote, which I got at record levels. Very important. Those people are very important to me. I know what they went through. They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban-American business people, some of them are like the most successful in the country. And a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro regime was brutal, but they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no money, no nothing. They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah. Please, go ahead.
There's footage that shows an American missile strike and a Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for
haven't
that strike?
seen it. And I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic, it's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be
Well, I think you could say both. It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no radar. They have no telecommunication.
Trump says he done blew up everything that they own over there. As far as the military goes, they have access to basically nothing. Let Trump tell it.
And they have no leadership. It's all gone. So, you could look at that statement. We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further. But the big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's incredible. We wiped out a big Navy, very powerful Navy. These were ships, these were serious ships. These were ships that you buy when you want to win battles. They're all on the bottom floor. The sailors are all running off the ships. They refuse to get on the ships. The Air Force is gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle.
Somebody said Trump is full of BS down there. Lord, let's go.
The drones are down to probably 25%. and they'll soon be down to nothing. We'll have where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be a determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Can I ask you, you mentioned you were going to waive certain additional oil waivers or sanctions. Can you talk a little bit more about that and address in particular?
Well, we're looking to keep the oil prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion into a very positive thing. I mean, this was an excursion that a lot of people wouldn't have done. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and they've gone up probably less than I thought they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This was a military success, the likes of which people haven't seen. We have the best military. We have the best equipment. We have, I believe, the best generals. We have the best. And this went very quickly.
Trump says America has the best everything.
We talked about that with President Putin. He was very impressed with what he saw because nobody's ever seen anything quite like it. You know, Iran was a very powerful military country with all of the missiles. Now, you had the double attack. You had the original attack with us and Israel, and that knocked them for a loop. Then you had the B-2 bombers, which took out their nuclear capability, and they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And they would have used it long before this press conference. And we might have had
Trump said they had a nuke, guys. Do y'all believe they had a nuke?
Different press conference, if we had a press conference at all. But it's been amazing. The military success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
You've told your congressional colleagues that you will not sign any piece of legislation until the Save America Act is passed. Does that include the confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS secretary? Does that mean a DHS funding bill? And Senator Thune said today, it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy, it's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes. And what we're saying is the Save.
Oh, man, somebody down there said that allegedly Iran has been 2 weeks away from a nuke since 1984. Goodness gracious. That's a long 2 weeks.
America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was. The Save America Act. The Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate. We want, very importantly, confirmation that this voter is a citizen of the United States of America. And we want no mail-in ballot scams. So we have exceptions for the military, for sick, for disabled, and for people that are away, business trips or whatever. Even vacations will be very liberal in that. We've added two things to it: no men and women's sports and no transgender mutilization of our children. We don't want it's mutilization of our children, and we don't want that. So we added those two things. That's the 5 points. We have 5 very good points. It polls at 86% with Democrats. Think of that. The overall vote is 86%. With Republicans, it's 98%. And the only one opposed to it is a Democrat leadership because they cheat. They want to cheat. So we added those 2 points. We're going for the gold, and we're going to have to fight like hell. Now, certain things will happen. Certain things will take place. I'm here to do a great job for the country. But we don't have a country, if we're going to have elections that are so corrupt and so dishonest like we've witnessed over the last period of time. You know, as an example, virtually nobody has nobody has a system of mail-in ballots like we have. No other country in the world. France went away from it. They owe it. You know why? Because it's corrupt. And Jimmy Carter, when he had a commission, frankly, I think it's probably the best thing Jimmy Carter did. He said, you can't have mail-in voting because it's inherently dishonest.
All right, so now we on voting, man. They want people to vote in person with identification because Trump says, man, All these other elections has been too many people that are non-Americans that have been voting, guys.
And it's turned out to be totally dishonest, so we're going to fight for it. Yeah.
Has Iran activated any sleeper cells inside the U.S.? There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
Well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under, we've got them, we're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Do you have to take him out? Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new Supreme Leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran?
All right, so now we hear about the new Supreme Leader. Remember, Trump wanted the people to take back over Iran and basically name their own Supreme Leader. And in an unprecedented move, a real strategic chess move, Iran names the son of the former Supreme Leader to be the Supreme Leader, guys. You know, basically going against what Trump wanted.
A target on his back.
You mean the new Supreme Leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that, but you know, I was disappointed because we think
he was disappointed.
It's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I was disappointed to see their choice.
Thank you, sir. You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son.
Trump said he is looking to name his own Supreme Leader to run Iran. Yeah, that's what Trump said. He's going to name his own person. He ain't going to let them do it since they want the son or have nominated the son. Trump wants his own personal person that he knows, that he has in mind to run their country.
What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been
I like the idea of, internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job. And it's, no disruption. We had, as you remember, Iraq, where everybody got fired. The military got fired, the police got fired, the politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So I would like to see people that are inside go. Now, they talk about the son of the Shah. They talk about other people. But, hasn't been there in many, many years. We have a formula that's been very good so far, and I think it'll continue to be good. The relationship is extraordinary with Venezuela, smart country. We've taken out 100 million barrels of oil. It's right now in Houston being taken care of and made so beautiful. And you have to see this at work. They have, it's brought to the refineries. It's being refined in Houston, which is made exactly for that product. And so far, but it's 100 million barrels of oil, and now they have another 100 million barrels coming. And it's like a
100 million barrels of oil. That's a lot of oil, guys.
We're getting along so well with them. It's great for Venezuela, and it's great for the United States. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this, even your defense secretary.
All right, so what they're talking about now is that I think a school building got hit by a tomahawk missile over there in Iran. Trump is basically saying, from what I just heard, that Iran did it to themselves. They got a hold of some kind of way they got a hold to a tomahawk missile and hit their own school building, guys. That's what Trump just said. What y'all think? Y'all think America did it, or y'all think Iran did it to themselves?
He wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation, but tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
So Trump just said even if it says that America did it, he gonna go with whatever they say. He's not too much worried about it. He gonna stand on it regardless.
You said earlier that we've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough. What do you consider enough? What's your baseline?
Where they're not going to be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon. Where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were going to hit our allies first. I believe, upon information and belief, but I believe that he was going to, they were going to take over the Middle East. They were looking to take over the Middle East. Now, had Operation Midnight Hammer not taken place, that was definite, because they would have had a nuclear weapon within a matter of weeks. But that took place. That was a setback. But look at the number of missiles they were able to buy and make over the last 6 months. And those missiles were aimed at various countries. And when you look at over 1,000 missiles shot at like UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
Disagreement between yourself and your vice president when it comes to U.S. action in Iran?
I don't think so, no. No, we get along very well on this. He was, I would say, philosophically a little bit different than me. I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete, and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back.
Sir, you said you're considering seizing the Strait of Hormuz. Is there a timeline for that?
About the strait, you mean? Yeah, well, I want to keep it open. I want to keep it good. You know, it doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries because they get a lot of their energy from the straits. But, hey, look, we have a good relationship with China. It's my honor to do it. Yeah.
Leader, you have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does, because that would be inappropriate. But, hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught.
Trump brings up the target, the money that was basically on his head from Iran. I told y'all, this might be personal.
Target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first, but they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know, but people don't like to mention that, but they did catch him. And I'd like to congratulate our military, Secret Service, FBI, all of the people that worked on that, but they did. Yeah, please. Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You promised the Iranian people you would help them, but it sounds like you're willing to end this fight after your military objectives have wrapped up. Isn't that a betrayal of the people?
Will I help them? I'd like to, if they can behave. But they've been very menacing. You know, they're great people. They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great, I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, as of today, there have been 8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths?
8 U.S. casualties in Iran, guys, so far. Prayers for their families.
Are you willing to have in this war?
Well, as I said before, when you have conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were unbelievable people, but they all had one thing in common. They said to me one thing, every single one: finish the job, sir. Please finish the job. And I'll leave you at that. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
So that was Trump, guys, on the situation going on in Iran, guys. His personal take and basically how he feels about it, guys. He most definitely made mention of the money or the target basically on his back, guys. All right, so after he voiced his frustration with the new leader of Iran. Okay, so after that, the Iranian prime minister basically responded to what Trump had to say in his meeting.
Abbas Araghchi, Mr. Foreign Minister, welcome to Meet the Press.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. I have to ask you the big question on everyone's mind. Who is in charge in Iran right now?
Well, it is already known. The council of the interim leadership council is now in charge, and they are doing their act in the absence of the leader, while a new supreme leader is going to be elected soon by the Assembly of Experts. And the president and the cabinet are also doing their duties. Parliament, everything is in its place.
Well, there are reports this morning that the Iranian Assembly of Experts has come to a decision on a new supreme leader for Iran. Many have suggested it would be the son of the late supreme leader, Moshtaba Khamenei. Will he be the next leader of Iran?
Well, nobody knows. Actually, there are lots of rumors around.
So he's saying it's pure speculation. But as far as the news is reporting that he is most definitely the new supreme leader. But the prime minister says that's strictly speculation.
But, we have to wait for the Assembly of Experts to convene and vote for the new supreme leader and the one who is elected by them.
Do you think he should be the next leader of Iran?
Well, anybody which is elected by the Assembly of Experts would be the next supreme leader of Iran. And as you know, the members of the assembly are already, elected directly by the people.
All right. Well, President Trump says he should pick the new leader of Iran. Will Iran allow President Trump to have any role in picking its new leader?
We allow nobody to interfere in our domestic affairs. This is up to.
All right, so Trump said he remembered. We just listened to Trump say he was going to pick the leader. The Iranian prime minister says not so fast. Nobody will interfere in our election. Meaning Trump holds no weight with him. Ain't nobody interfering. They're going to pick who they want.
The Iranian people to elect their new leader. They have already elected the Assembly of Experts, and the Assembly of Experts would do the job. It is only the business of the Iranian people and nobody else's business.
President Trump says there will be no deal with Iran except for quote, unconditional surrender. Will Iran agree to unconditional surrender for the sake of bringing this war to an end, Mr. Foreign Minister?
Well, this is what he asked previous time, last year in June, that when Israel started to attack us, President Trump used the same phrase, unconditional surrender. That was a tweet he made. And that didn't happen. We resisted, and after 12 days, Israelis asked for unconditional ceasefire. So we never give up, we never surrender, and we continue to...
They say no surrender, guys. They gonna fight this all the way to the end.
...resist as long as it takes. We continue to defend ourselves, and we are defending our territory, our people, and our dignity. And our dignity is not for sale.
Well, let me ask you, because what conditions would Iran accept to bring this war to an end?
Well, actually, we are not at that point yet. Obviously...
Can we get 300 on that like, guys? We need 30 more likes to hit 300, guys. If you have not, double tap that screen or click the 3 dots in the right-hand corner and hit that thumbs up, guys. It helps out the channel. Let's get the likes up. Double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device, or click those 3 dots and hit that thumbs up, guys. This is the Iranian foreign minister basically saying that pretty much everything Trump said was a lie.
This time is different from the previous time. Last time we accepted the ceasefire, but this time is quite different, and the reason is obvious. Last time they attacked us, they made aggression against us, they killed our people, they destroyed our places, and then asked for a ceasefire, and we accepted out of good faith, because we were only exercising the act of self-defense. And when the aggression was stopped, we stopped too. But it didn't bring about peace. And now this year they again started to attack us. And again they have, they are killing our people. They are killing, girl students. They are attacking hospitals. Freshwater desalinations. Refineries. Everywhere, people have been killed, places have been destroyed, and now they want to ask for a ceasefire again. Well, this doesn't work like this. So there should be a permanent end of the war. And unless we get to that, I think we need to, continue fighting for the sake of our people and our security.
We are going to get to the reports about some of the deaths.
They say no surrender
in just a moment, but just to stay on this topic, would Iran ever agree to a ceasefire to get back to the negotiating table to end all of this military conflict?
Well, they have to explain why they started this aggression before we come to the point to even consider a ceasefire. Of course, nobody wants to continue this war. This is not our war. This is not the war of our choice. This is imposed on us by the United States, by Israelis. They have, started this war unprovoked, unwarranted, illegally. And what we are doing is an illegal...
It says that America and Israel has started this battle illegally, guys. They feel like they have basically broke some laws, guys. This is crazy.
Legal act of self-defense, and we have every right to do that. So it is not fair that if only stops the aggression and ask us to stop too. As I said, this time is different.
Let me ask you about some of what Iran has been doing. Iran has launched hundreds of missiles at 13 other nations in the region. On Saturday, the Iranian president apologized for those strikes on neighboring Gulf states. Was it a mistake for Iran to attack its neighbors?
Well, it is a mistake if you consider that Iran is attacking its neighbors. No, we are not attacking our neighbors. We are attacking American bases American, installations, American assets, which are unfortunately located in the soils of our neighbors. So we are not attacking our neighbors, we are attacking Americans who are attacking us. We are retaliating. We have not started this war. It is Americans who started this war against us, attacking us, and we are defending ourselves. So it is obvious that our missiles cannot reach the US soil. What we can do is to attack American bases and American installations around us, which are unfortunately in the soils of our neighborly countries.
But Mr. Foreign Minister, if you're not attacking your neighbors, why did the Iranian president apologize?
Well, first of all,
they're most definitely attacking their neighbors, trying to attack America. He basically said, we're retaliating. And it's unfortunate that the American bases, which are the Americans, are stationed in some of our neighbors' locations. Wow.
In our culture is a sign of dignity and strength. Secondly, he apologized from the peoples of the region for the inconveniences they have faced because of this aggression by the United States and retaliation by us. So as a matter of fact, it is in fact the President of the United States who should apologize from the people of the region and Iranian people.
He says Trump needs to apologize
for the killings and destructions they have done against us.
Let me ask you, because NBC News is reporting that Iran is receiving help from Russia to help locate U.S. forces. Are you receiving?
Remember, I just asked y'all about China and Russia, guys. Here she asked him the tough question. Is Iran receiving help from Russia?
Any help from Russia?
Well, we have a strategic partnership with Russia.
So that's a yes?
And, a military cooperation between Iran and Russia is not something new. It's not a secret. It has been in the past. And
he said it's not a secret that they are allies with each other. She asked him basically for a yes and no answer. Let's see if he gives us a yes or a no.
It's still there and will continue in the future.
Is Russia helping you locate U.S. forces? I just want to be very clear here.
Well, I don't have exact military information.
He says he doesn't have the exact information. Don't look like they want to tell us right now, guys. But it has been reported that Russia is helping Iran.
As far as I know, we have a very good partnership with Russia.
So they are helping you. They are providing intelligence.
Well, they are helping us in many different directions.
He says they are helping us. He said they helping them.
I don't have any detailed information.
Okay, let's move to the strike on the elementary school in southern Iran. It killed more than...
All right, so remember, Trump said they did it to themselves. They stole a Tomahawk, or basically got a Tomahawk missile from somewhere and dropped it on their own school building. Let's see what the Iranian foreign minister says happened. I bet you he says America did it.
170 people, including many children. President Trump said Iran is responsible for that strike. What is your response to what the president said?
Well, it is funny. It is our school. These are our students, our girls, and they are attacked by an American fighter, a jet fighter.
They are attacked by an American fighter, jet fighter, guys. So he's most definitely saying that Iran didn't do this, America did. Let's go.
And they have been killed. Why Iran is responsible? Have we started this war? Have we attacked our own people? No, we were negotiating with the United States. And in the middle of negotiations, in the middle of diplomacy, they decided to attack us. And they have attacked so many places, including schools and hospitals. And there are all evidences that this school is attacked by an American, jet fighter.
He said America did it.
Where is the Iranian evidence that this was a U.S. attack, a jet fighter, as you say? Will you provide
it? If it was not U.S., then who was that? Maybe Israelis. But it is obvious who else is attacking us.
Well, let me move on to this question about potential ground troops. You said earlier this.
He said, who else could it be? America is the only one attacking us. Of course they did it.
Week on U.S. ground troops to my colleague Tom Yamas, quote, "We are waiting for them." But President Trump says the condition for sending troops to Iran would be that Iran, quote, "would be so decimated that they wouldn't be able to fight at the ground level." Is the president...
So remember, Trump said that basically we disabled most of their technologies, guys. Let's see what he says about it.
Right. Would you not be able to fight at the ground level, Mr. Foreign Minister?
Well, at least this is not the case right now. For the time being, we are capable enough. We have very brave soldiers who are waiting for any enemy who enter into our
He says they are very capable and they basically have ground forces that can defend Iran, guys. Basically saying that Trump lied again.
To fight with them and to kill them and destroy them. So, and that would be the case in the coming days and the coming years, and in always in our in Iran. We are brave people. We have a great civilization. We have defended our land for thousands of years, and we continue to do that as much as it takes.
Let me ask you, because you have said that this was a war of choice. President Trump said one of the reasons for launching this war was that Iran, quote, "already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases and would soon."
Remember, he said they were 2 weeks away from basically dropping a nuke on their surrounding areas, guys, and that they, like he said, they would have did it in 2 weeks. Let's see what he says.
Missiles capable of reaching America. Was Iran planning to directly attack the United States?
Well, this is not true. This is, in fact, misinformation.
Not true, he says. It's misinformation.
We have capability to produce missiles, but we have intentionally limited ourselves to below 2,000 kilometers of range because we don't want to be felt as a threat by anybody else in the world. We have not started any plan to increase the range of our missiles more than what it is right now. So there is no evidence, there is no intelligence, nothing to indicate that Iran is going to long-range missiles, let alone those missiles who can reach the United States.
So he says none of their missiles can make the United States. But remember, they said that he was going to drop it on his neighbors, is what was reported, if my memory serves me correctly. But he says none of their missiles can make it to America.
Oh, sorry.
All right, and of course, U.S. officials say that negotiations over this came to a halt, and that is part of why they moved forward with this action. Minister Arachi, thank you very much. We will obviously be tracking everything that unfolds very closely. We appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so that was the Iran foreign minister basically telling Iran's side of what's going on in the situation with America. Well, after that, y'all already know, early this morning, Pete Hegseth was up on it. He basically gave us a briefing on Operation Epic Fury, which is what's taking place in Iran, guys. Let's see what Pete Hegseth had to say about this.
Well, to our fellow Americans, brave warriors, and steadfast allies, good morning. You know, as someone who led soldiers in the streets of Baghdad and Samarra, Iraq, and who trained counterinsurgents in Kabul, Afghanistan, and who still carries the weight of brothers lost to Iranian terrorist proxies, many backed by the same Iranian regime we're confronting now. This fight, Operation Epic Fury, it hits home. Our generation understands this fight. For 47 years, these barbaric savages in the Iranian regime have murdered our brothers in arms. My guys, your guys, our guys. Through their terrorist proxies and cowardly attacks, Now they race toward a nuclear bomb to hold the world hostage.
So he's saying, hey, man, despite what this guy just told us, the foreign minister, Hegseth saying they got a nuke over there. He don't care what nobody say.
The Iranians have targeted and killed thousands of my American brothers. That race to a nuclear bomb, President Trump will never allow it. Not now, not ever, not on our watch. The mullahs are desperate and scrambling. Like the terrorist cowards they are, they fire missiles from schools and hospitals, deliberately targeting innocents.
Y'all heard what he said. They fire missiles at schools. So Hegseth is backing Trump, basically, when it comes to Iran, basically dropping that tomahawk on their own school building.
Because they know their military is being systematically degraded and annihilated. Iran's neighbors, and in some cases, former allies in the Gulf, they've abandoned them. And their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas, either broken, ineffective, or on the sidelines. Iran stands alone, and they are badly losing. On day 10 of Operation Epic Fury, we are winning with an overwhelming and unrelenting focus on our objectives, which are the same as the day I gave my first briefing here on Operation Epic Fury. They're straightforward, and we are executing them with ruthless precision. One, destroy their missile stockpiles, their missile launchers, and their defense industrial base. Missiles and their ability to make them. Two, destroy their navy. And three, permanently deny Iran nuclear weapons forever. It's a laser-focused, maximum authority mission delivered with overwhelming and unrelenting precision. No hesitation, no half measures. As President Trump declared yesterday, we're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. We will not relent until the enemy is totally and decisively defeated. But we do so on our timeline and at our choosing. For example, today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes, intelligence more refined and better than ever. So that's on one hand. On the other hand, the last 24 hours have seen Iran fire the lowest number of missiles they've been capable of firing yet. Just the bifurcation, just the trend lines that we talked about on our first briefing. You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. Our generation of soldier will not let that happen again, and nor will this president, who very clearly ran against those kinds of never-ending.
We need 30 more likes, guys, to reach 400. Double tap that screen if you're on a mobile device, or click those three dots, hit that thumbs up, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is Pete Hegseth, guys, telling us basically his take on what's going on in Iran and what the Americans' plan is for Iran now that we're over there in a full-blown battle, guys. Thank you for that gift.
Missions. Those days are dead. Instead, we're winning decisively with brutal efficiency, total air dominance, and an unbreakable will to accomplish the president's objectives on our timeline. We stay locked on the target because here at the Department of War, that's our job. Now, the chairman and I, having just returned from Dover last night, our troops and their families and the enormous sacrifice that they make is certainly heavy on my mind. So I'll close with scripture, drawing strength from Psalm 144. Blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield, in whom I take refuge. May the Lord grant unyielding strength and refuge to our warriors, unbreakable protection to them and our homeland, and total victory over those who seek to harm them. And amen. God bless our troops and this mission. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm here today to continue the updates to the American people and to those in the room on Operation Epic Fury. First, let me start with honoring our fallen. As the Secretary said, on Saturday and again last night at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, our nation's leaders honored our returning fallen as they arrived home for their final time. Last week, I shared a few of the names, and today I want to share the rest. Major Jeffrey O'Brien and Chief Warren.
So these are some of the fallen soldiers, guys. Prayers for their families that were lost over there in Iran.
Officer 3, Robert Marzan, were the final two fallen to return home, and members of the U.S. Army Reserve's 103rd Sustainment Command out of Des Moines, Iowa. Last night, as the news has been reporting, we honored the return of Staff Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of the U.S. Army's 1st Space Brigade from Fort Carson, Colorado. When I met Ben's family last night, his mom, his dad, and his sister, they showed me a picture, a drawing that Ben had made when he was in kindergarten. It was clear all the way back then that Ben wanted to do one thing in his life, and he wanted to serve his country and be a soldier. And to the Penningtons, just know how Ben was absolutely a great one. And finally, Major Sorfleet Davies, who returned home this weekend after sadly passing away from a medical condition while on duty in Kuwait. We welcome him home as well and mourn with his family. To the families and the families of all of our fallen, we share in your profound grief. The Joint Force remains eternally grateful for your sacrifice and the gift of a great example that your service members have given all of us. I want you to know that their names will never be forgotten, and you and your family are part of our Joint Force family forever. Let me talk a little bit about the progress thus far, acknowledging that Admiral Cooper will likely continue to give updates from CENTCOM. As the Secretary said, we're in the 10th, moving into the 11th day of Operation Epic Fury. The Joint Force remains focused on 3 military objectives. Continue to destroy Iranian ballistic missiles and drone capability in order to prevent attacks on the U.S. and others throughout the region. And this means attacking launch sites, command and control nodes, stockpiles before they can threaten our personnel, our facilities, and our partners. Second, we continue to strike the Iranian Navy and their capabilities in order to do things like sustain movement through the Straits of Hormuz. And third, we continue to start working on and going deeper into Iran's military and industrial base in order to prevent the regime from being able to attack Americans, our interests, and our partners for years to come and project power outside their borders. This means servicing production facilities, research and development sites, and infrastructure. Let me turn to the map. We're going to try digital today to prevent laser injury. Since our last update, CENTCOM continues to make progress across the southern flank. To date, they've struck more than 5,000 targets. U.S. Strategic Command bombers recently dropped.
America has struck over 5,000 targets in Iran. Wow, 5,000, guys.
Dozens of 2,000-pound GPS penetrating weapons on deeply buried missile launchers across the southern flank. We also have struck several one-way drone factories to get at the heart of their autonomous capability. And of course, alongside our regional partners along the southern flank, continue to execute intercepts against one-way attack drones using fighters and attack helicopters. Our strikes mean we've made...
Somebody down there said Iran doesn't have tomahawks. Well, according to Trump, they got it from somewhere. Even though their military may not have them, Trump said they done got them from somewhere. He don't know where it came from, but it wasn't America that basically struck their school. It was Iran struck his own school.
Made significant progress in reducing the number of missile and drone attacks out of Iran. Ballistic missile attacks continue to trend downward, 90% from where they've started, and one-way attack drones have decreased 83% since the beginning of the operation. A testament to our air defenders and our air defense systems, and as I said, our partners in the region continue to do great work as well. Second, we're making substantial progress towards destroying the Navy. In the first 10 days of the conflict, we're more than 50 Iranian naval ships into the campaign using a combination of artillery, fighters, bombers, and sea-launched missiles. As Admiral Cooper noted last Thursday, we struck and sank an Iranian drone carrier ship, and U.S. CENTCOM continues today to hunt and strike mine-laying vessels and mine storage facilities. This work will continue. Third, against our objectives, we've begun to target Iran's military and industrial complex, again, focusing on centers of gravity to get upstream of the shooters out in the field in order to deny them the ability to continue to generate those one-way attack drones. Let me spend a minute talking about the Joint Force. Across the area of responsibility, this is gritty and tireless work, and I cannot begin to explain how incredibly proud I am of the extraordinary courage, tenacity, and grit and professionalism within the Joint Force. Last time I had a chance to talk about the Army's incredible logisticians who are out there sustaining the fight. Today I want to highlight a few groups of sailors. First, I want to thank the men and women of the Forward Carrier Strike Group and their families, and let all of them know how grateful I am for their leadership and service. The crews on board this strike group have already been endured months at sea only to get their deployment extended. These exceptional Americans, rogered up, all supported by their families, continue to stand the watch, taking the fight to the enemy over and over again, night after night. Aboard ships like the USS Ford and the Abraham Lincoln are a special group of sailors I want to highlight today. These are the men and women, the sailors up on the roof running operations on the flight deck. With an average age of the early 20s, these are the unsung heroes of naval aviation. These young sailors, known for wearing yellow shirts, are in charge of the catapults, taxiing jets around on the flight deck, shooting jets off the front end, and recovering jets off the back end. They are literally involved with every single movement on the roof on an aircraft carrier. They are the last ones that a naval aviator sees before getting shot off the front end, and the first one that a naval aviator sees after safely trapping on the back end. And just for a minute, imagine you're standing on that aircraft carrier flight deck. There's 30 knots of wind in your face. The deck is slippery, covered in grease. It's noisy. There are propellers spinning. There's jet blast everywhere. The helicopters are running. Your head is on a swivel, and you're trying to direct a multi-million-dollar fighter into a 1-foot square box so that those naval aviators can be shot off into the black of night to go do America's work. Those jets are fully loaded with missiles and bombs, and they are a world-class team combined with the naval aviation and the aviators in those jets. This beautiful symphony of American spirit is the definition of perfectly organized chaos. And these crews do it every single time the carrier is at work. Oh, by the way, in the middle of the night and oftentimes in the pouring rain. These are dedicated young people who take the road less traveled to serve their great nation, doing the deeds that we need them to do. America's enlisted force is the pride of every nation's military, certainly ours, and the envy of every other one as well. Each and every one of them out there across the Joint Force are extraordinary, and in particular today I want to highlight the yellow shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, our work continues. It'll continue to be difficult. I ask every American to keep our deployed force and their families in our thoughts. Combat deployments can be tough on the force and the families, and it's important that we continue to remember that. I remain deeply humbled by the 2.8 million members of the Joint Force, and I'll end where I started, and that's remembering our fallen and their families whose sacrifice will be felt forever. And with that, I'll take some questions with the Secretary.
All right, so with that being said, we hear from Hegseth. and this other guy about, the situations that's going on in Iran, guys, and what we plan to do. He basically said, like Trump said, that they hit their own school with that Tomahawk missile. I don't know how true it is. I'm just telling y'all that's what they said. But according to the foreign minister of Iran, he said that is a lie. All right, so with just like everything else, we have to move on to Hakeem Jeffries, guys. The Democrats are most definitely saying that the American people deserve answers on Iran, guys. Let's check out what basically Hakeem Jeffries had to say about the war in Iran.
Welcome back, and joining me now is House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York. Leader Jeffries, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good morning. Great to be back.
It's great to have you back. Let's start with the war in Iran. The United States now a week into this conflict. Do you think the world is safer now that the supreme leader is dead?
Well, certainly as it relates to the Ayatollah, he was a bad actor, and I'm not going to shed any tears as a result of his departure. I think the big question is, why did we get into this war? What are our strategic objectives? Because they shift.
Hakeem says we haven't got a definite answer of why are we over there. Is it personal or is it political? Which one is it? Hakeem Jeffries say the American people deserve answers.
Every day. And what is the plan to get out of this conflict? The American people don't want to see billions of dollars being spent to bomb Iran in the Middle East, while at the same period of time, my Republican colleagues and this president are unwilling to spend a dime to lower their grocery bills, spend a dime to actually make it more affordable to go see a doctor, or do anything about this affordability crisis that is very real in the United States of America.
Well, in talking about the strategy for this war, let me ask you, because NBC News is reporting that President Trump has privately considered sending boots on the ground to Iran.
Meaning that even though beforehand Trump said we wouldn't be putting any soldiers on the ground, now they have turned to basically putting soldiers on the ground. Let's go.
There any scenario where you would support sending U.S. forces to be on the ground in Iran, Leader Jeffries?
No, and in fact, candidate Trump suggested that under no circumstances should American servicemen and women be put into harm's way in this particular type of situation, particularly as it relates to another endless war in the Middle East. And we are deeply saddened right now by the loss of 6 brave and heroic servicemen and women who have already...
Shout out to those 6, man, and prayers for their families.
...already lost their lives, and will continue to pray for their families and their loved ones. But the American people deserve answers from the administration as to how we're going to actually move forward in a way that makes America safer, not more vulnerable.
Well, there is a push for congressional oversight, but both the House and the Senate this week rejected a resolution to curb President Trump's war powers in Iran. And frankly, even 5 Democrats joined Republicans to block the resolution in those chambers. Does that effectively give President Trump a mandate to fight this war?
Not at all. The president, of course, has a responsibility, first and foremost, to make his case to the American people, which he's failed to do. There's a reason why this president is deeply unpopular. His policies, including the one big ugly bill, are unpopular. And this war of choice in the Middle East are unpopular. As Democrats, we're going to continue to make the case to the American people that we should be stewards of spending their taxpayer dollars in a manner that actually is designed to make their life better and make their life more affordable, as opposed to another endless war in the Middle East where we're spending billions and billions of dollars to drop bombs and doing nothing to drop the high cost of living.
Well, your Democratic colleague, Democratic Congressman Jared Golden, is among those who voted to block the resolution. I want to read you a little bit of his statement from this week. He says, quote, "The president has so far acted within the authorities given to him by Congress through the War Powers Act of 1973. He has been briefing Congress, and he has 60 days to make his case for ongoing operations. This is not an illegal war, but it could become one." How do you respond to your House colleague?
Well, every individual member, of course, is going to articulate their position. The overwhelming majority of both House and Senate Democrats have made the case to the American people and taken the position that this is a war of choice that Donald Trump decided to get into without any evidence being presented to us as members of Congress or to the American people.
But do you agree?
He said Trump brought no evidence of anything. Remember, Trump said he just felt in that interview last week that he just felt like they were going to do it with the intelligence that he had. But people are saying, man, how do you go to a full-blown battle off a hunch?
Golden, it's not an illegal war yet?
To protect the national security of the American people. No, Jared obviously has a very different position. He's a hero. He fought in the Middle East bravely, and he's entitled, of course, to his perspective. But as I indicated, the American people are dissatisfied with this war of choice that Donald Trump has decided to enter into. And Donald Trump has not made a compelling case as to why we are in a situation where American servicemen and women, their lives are at risk.
Let's talk about the cost of this war, Leader Jeffries. The White House is reportedly weighing a request to Congress for tens of millions of dollars. Several Senate Democrats have said they're open to reviewing what the administration requests, arguing could be critical to military readiness overall. As the leader of House Democrats, do you plan to block all Pentagon funding, even if the argument is it is critical for military readiness?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it in terms of if the administration makes a request to Congress to consider additional funding. But at this particular point in time, the administration has failed to make its case as to the rationale or justification for this war of choice in the Middle East. Listen, candidate Trump promised that he was not going to get the country into an endless war, particularly in the Middle East, in the aftermath of what we saw in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. President Trump has now done the exact opposite. And absent him actually providing us with a compelling rationale, he's going to have a difficult case to make on Capitol Hill.
Leader Jeffries, let me ask you about another aspect of this. As you well know, President Trump fired Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem this week, something you and other Democrats have been...
Oh, we most definitely know. He got Nomes right up out of there, guys. They are still looking to press charges against her as well.
Calling for Democrats continue to block funding for DHS amid these demands that there be changes to ICE and the president's deportation policies. Is the change in leadership at DHS enough for you and other
Democrats? Oh, yeah, while we talking about people being in the hot seat, let's go here real quick and we'll come back to that. We got Pam Bondi, guys. The Democrats are looking to basically impeach her over the Epstein files.
Congresswoman, so this morning the president posted, today Iran will be hit very hard and is under consideration for complete destruction. And NBC reports Trump has privately expressed serious interest in deploying troops on the ground inside Iran. How long can Trump continue sidestepping Congress and ignoring the majority of Americans who oppose this war?
Well, I think the primary question on everyone's mind is, why did the president launch an unauthorized war against Iran? It's very clear that the American people do not support...
I told y'all he moved off a hunch, and people don't like it.
This war, that overwhelmingly the American people don't understand what our objectives are, why the president launched strikes to begin with, and certainly Congress has not been provided with an adequate legal explanation for any sort of imminent threat. There is no strategy on the ground. There is no apparent exit strategy, and we don't understand how they plan to stabilize the region after this attack. So I think many of us, it's not just that he has launched an unauthorized war. We don't even understand the foundation for why they did it, and they can't provide a clear explanation.
Which, on the basis of what you just said, makes the fact that both the House and Senate failed to pass war powers resolutions rather stunning, though it was expected. Some Democratic leaders are sharply criticizing Trump for not seeking congressional authorization. I know you are one of them. However, stopping short of saying whether they oppose the military action itself. So, is this war...
Which is basically what Hakeem Jeffries was saying as well.
Ran a mistake, or are Democrats hiding behind process complaints because the party is divided on policy?
I don't think we're divided on policy because we don't even know what the administration's policy is. Now, Is Iran the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world? Yes, absolutely. Is Iran a country that has attacked its own citizens? Yes. Are our allies in the Middle East been under constant terrorist attacks from Iranian affiliates? Yes, all of these things are true. But part of why past presidents have not unleashed military efforts on the ground against Iran is because of the potential to unleash chaos, the potential for American troops to lose their lives, as they already have, with 6 service members already losing their lives, and because it is very clear in the United States Constitution that only Congress has the authority to declare war. And while this president has already, of course, launched strikes, it's very clear he does not have the authority to put boots on the ground, to declare war against Iran. And in addition to that, there is no clear objective here. What it seems to be is that he is essentially doing the bidding of the Israeli government and Netanyahu, and has launched this war at their bequest. But why is the American taxpayer dollars, American lives, and our resources being put on the line? And he needs to come to Congress to ask for permission and to explain what he is trying to accomplish there.
And to that end, the dignified transfer of 6 American service members killed in Kuwait is set to begin shortly. And when asked about the fallen soldiers, Hegseth, Defense Secretary Hegseth, said, quote, "When a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. The press only wants to make the president look bad." What is your response to Hegseth's seeming lack of accountability or empathy and framing soldier deaths as a media problem?
I think that this administration's entire approach is disgraceful. When they came to brief us earlier this week in Congress, they made no bones about the fact that they expect more deaths of more service members. I have never in my entire life seen an administration with less concern for basic human life and dignity than I've seen with this administration, including for our troops. And I think that's reflected by the number of active duty military who are quietly saying they don't understand what this war is for, why they are being sent abroad, and the many millions of veterans across the country right now who are angry watching as the commander-in-chief is deploying troops over to the Middle East after he promised the American people that he would not entangle us in more foreign wars. I think that it is not just disgraceful, but completely irresponsible. And when our troops sign up to serve this nation, there is a contract with the government that we will not put their lives on the line if not for the defense of this nation. And this president cannot explain, even in the most basic terms, why this war is in America's interest right now.
I'm going to switch gears here.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people say. What are we there for? Do we even need to be there? And some people even say this is that those people over there have been doing what they have been doing for years and years and years. Why are we there messing up what they have going?
Because after Kristi Noem's firing, you posted a video of you and your dog writing, quote, "We're all celebrating out here at the Capitol." By the way, not sure if you or your dog.
Now she's talking about Kristi Noem being fired. And once again, don't forget, Pam Bondi is under scrutiny. The Democrats are looking to impeach her from her position over the Epstein files.
Happier about it, given Noem's sordid past shooting her dog. But President Trump reportedly fired Noem over her $220 million taxpayer-funded, self-promoting DHS ad campaign and her poor performance testifying on Capitol Hill this week. Do you expect meaningful change at the DHS with her departure and Senator Mark Wayne Mullins' likely arrival?
Well, let me just clarify that adorable wiener dog is not mine, but he was absolutely celebrating outside the Capitol as millions were across the country, which is why we posted that video. But, you know, listen, I think it's very clear that this administration's policies are violating the Constitution, due process rights of Americans and immigrants seeking asylum in this country. But Kristi Noem's own personal accountability and lack of leadership at DHS is in part what has led to the direct murder of 2 U.S. citizens and dozens of other Americans in detention under DHS, as well as the absolute violation of rights that we've seen under this administration. In addition to that, as you mentioned, she's misappropriated $220 million in taxpayer dollars to support her own media campaign. And ultimately, these are criminal activities which we intend to hold her accountable for. But the fact that this administration didn't remove her completely from the taxpayer dollar in terms of employment indicates that they don't actually they are not actually seeking accountability, because if they were, they would have actually removed her from federal service and be seeking to hold her accountable for her actions, and instead have put her in charge of another office somewhere else in the government.
Despite having no time, I want to quickly ask you about whether House Oversight and how is going to hold DOJ accountable for this most recent release of more.
Here go the situation with Pam Bondi, guys.
Or Epstein files, way past the legal date upon which to do so. And the fact that it does include these three interviews, if you will, with someone who has made an allegation against the president.
Yeah, well, this week we issued a bipartisan subpoena of Pam Bondi for her mishandling of the Epstein case. It's very clear that the new files provide greater detail about the allegations against the president. And I can tell you that within the next week, we will be filing articles of impeachment against Pam Bondi for her.
She said we will be filing articles of impeachment against Pam Bondi because she be the next one in Trump's camp to be fired.
Handling of this case.
Extraordinary. All right. We will look ahead to all that.
All right. So here's a little bit more on the situation with Pam Bondi.
That were missing from the Epstein files contain serious unverified allegations against President Trump. The Justice Department posted 3 FBI memos describing interviews with a woman who accuses both Jeffrey Epstein and President.
This ain't it. Hold on. Wrong thing. Let's go here.
Corrupt DOJ in American history. So we shouldn't believe anything that they're saying. And how convenient that of that manifest of documents that should have been included, that it was the ones about the president and accusations and allegations. Those were the ones that were missing in that one sheet of manifest documents. I mean, give me a break. Nobody believes that. And it was only because of pressure. And I myself went in to look at these documents. I searched for these documents. It was clear that they were missing. And when we put that information out there, I think the DOJ realized that they had been caught red-handed, like they've been caught time and time again on the issue of these documents. To clarify, they have actually posted some of the documents that relate to this one case, but not all of them. We have verified, and so have other independent media, that some of the documents, and it could likely be the communication between the different FBI agents about these allegations, those continue to appear to be missing from the actual document. So we continue to search for those. We can't find those. And it's really interesting that all the documents around these allegations, there are issues with. They're missing. They post them. They're here. They're gone again. And so we're going to watch this, and we're monitoring that very carefully. As it relates to the allegations themselves, what these are serious allegations made by, at the time, or by a woman who at the time was a minor, that of course accused the president of sexual assault. And they are serious. Why they were missing, no one has explained to us, and they need to be investigated. This is someone that was actually interviewed.
So this is for the other files. Remember, only 3 million came out of 16 million, guys. I mean 6 million. So there's still 3 million missing. Some of which some of the ones which are missing are the ones that implicate Trump doing anything wrong, and like some recordings of somebody who said that Trump basically did something to them with, while he was friends with Epstein.
Appears to be 4 separate times by the FBI. For the FBI to go back multiple times and interview this person is significant on its own. And so we have a lot of questions for the Attorney General around this case, and we are heavily investigating this incident, but of course others that appear in the files.
So let's talk about what you want to hear from some of the folks coming up before your committee. On Wednesday, the Oversight Committee voted on more subpoenas. So we have Bill Gates coming up, who's the Microsoft co-founder, Leslie Groff, Sarah Kellen.
These are the people who are basically subpoenaed to testify in front of Congress, guys.
Who's another former Epstein employee, Catherine Rumler, who is the former White House counsel to former President Obama, Leon Black.
Bill Gates, guys. Did you ever think you'd see today?
A co-founder of Apollo Global Management, Doug Band, longtime personal aide and counselor to former President Clinton, Ted Wyatt, who's a tech billionaire. And then we've got the two co-executors of the Epstein estate, one next week, one the week after, and Pam Bondi and Howard Lutnick. When is Pam Bondi coming before the committee? When is Howard Lutnick coming before the committee? Because they are both still to be determined. And what do you hope to learn from some of these other individuals? I mean, Catherine Romo, for example, is someone who literally had lost her job because of the Epstein files, because of the kinds of communication that popped up in there. According to reports, Bill Gates, he apologized to his staff, given what happened in the Epstein files. And I don't even need to go to the things that his ex-wife has suggested and said about his association. So what are you all hoping to learn?
Well, first, I mean, the fact that we were able to win a subpoena to get the Attorney General of Donald Trump in front of us is huge. And I want to thank the entire...
Hold on. They said they got a subpoena to get Donald Trump in there as well, guys, as well as Pam Bondi. Oh, my goodness. Look like there's going to be a testimony in front of Congress, if it goes right, from President Trump. Wow.
Committee, all of our members of Oversight Democrats that were united, we were able to pull over a handful of Republicans to join us to subpoena the Attorney General specifically on the Epstein files. So all of these questions that we have around the documents, why 50% of the files are still missing, and this broader investigation, that hearing is going to be critical, and we look forward to it. A date has not been set. We're hopeful it's set soon. Same with Howard Lutnick, someone that's been lying through his teeth about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and of course is now the Commerce Secretary to Donald Trump. How convenient. So those two depositions have not been set, but we expect them to have dates hopefully in the next week. As it relates to the other folks coming forward, look, on that list, you're talking about Epstein's personal assistant, Epstein's former lawyer, Epstein's former personal accountant. These are people that have intimate knowledge about where the money came in, who is actually going in and out of these spaces in Epstein's different homes, perhaps more information about what was actually going on at Mar-a-Lago with the trafficking of women and girls through and to Jeffrey Epstein. And so those are critical pieces of this investigation. There are, of course, others on there that folks that we want to speak to, anyone that we've said from day one, we don't care what party you're in. If you know Jeffrey Epstein or have information, we want to talk to you. So we look forward to all of these depositions.
Congressman, the drip that we've seen from the DOJ, of course, is frustrating as it relates to your investigation and your effort. One cannot imagine what it means for these survivors. Our colleague Lisa Rubin spoke to a few of them today. This is part of what she wrote. As DOJ releases more Epstein documents, survivors brace for impact. Again, every time files are released, it's like survivors are just holding on, waiting. It feels almost deliberate. Why can't we just have one comprehensive release of all the files so we don't have to go through this piecemeal? Haven't they put us through enough? That's Epstein survivor Marina Lacerda. Have you heard from the survivors about what the sort of latest iteration from DOJ means to them, the impact it's having on them?
I have. I'm in regular contact with survivors directly. I'll just say that it's been just disgusting and horrific what this process has been for them. They're constantly re-traumatized because how the DOJ has handled these releases. And it's not just been the inconsistency. They have blatantly included the names of survivors, the photos of survivors, completely exposed them to the public. And the way they've been so careless has re-traumatized survivors, has put them and their families in danger. And so the protection of them is so important. It's just so infuriating that the White House is more interested in protecting the billionaire men, those that actually were the co-conspirators, names of whom someone can't even see or access yet, and not protect these women who, in some cases, were girls and minors in these photos and in these instances. And so it's hard to see. We're just grateful how strong they remain, but it's outrageous. And these are some of the questions that we're going to ask Pam Bondi when she comes before our committee.
So that was it on Pam Bondi, guys. Basically being for the Democrats filing articles of impeachment to relieve her of her job over the Epstein files. All right, so we are currently in the situation in Iran. We heard a lot of different views of what's going on over there, as well as from Pete Hegseth and from Donald Trump. Let's hear from Caroline Levitt, when it comes to the situation in Iran. I guarantee you she's going to agree with President Trump. Let's go.
The press secretary, Caroline Levitt. Caroline, thanks for being with us this Friday afternoon. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to start you off this afternoon because we have confirmed reports from U.S. officials that Russia is providing intelligence to Iran to help it target U.S.
There he goes, saying that Russia is helping Iran, which we heard in the beginning when I first started playing videos. The Iran foreign leader basically said, yes, they are helping us in some aspects, but they won't tell us which ones it is. But yeah, let's see what Caroline Levitt says.
Sits in the region. I'm sure this is something that does not please the president whatsoever. Has he spoken to Putin about it?
Well, look, I'll leave that to the president to answer himself. But what I will tell you, John, we don't comment on intelligence reports that are leaked to the press. Whether or not this happened, frankly, it does not really matter because President Trump and the United States military.
Oh, she said that whether it happened or not does not matter, guys. Make sure you are double tapping that screen. If you just got here, double tap that screen. That's how you hit the like button if you're on a mobile device, or click the three dots, hit the thumbs up, guys. That's another way to hit the like button. It helps out the channel, or I wouldn't continue to ask you to do it. And most definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new, as we hear the official breakdown of Pam Bondi. I mean, not Pam Bondi, what am I saying? Caroline Levitt on what's going on in Iran.
They are absolutely decimating the rogue Iranian terrorist regime. We are now on day 6 of Operation Epic Fury. The United States military has impressively established dominance and air superiority over the skies of Iran. We have sunk and destroyed more than 30 of their Navy ships. And of course, the goals of this operation have been laid out and very clear. Completely annihilate Iran's Navy, which again, we are well on our way to doing. Their Navy has now been deemed combat ineffective. Secondly, take out their ballistic missile weaponry arsenal capacity, which we are very much doing. In fact, their retaliatory ballistic missile strikes against the United States and our allies in the region have decreased 90% just over the course of the last 6 days. And of course, the overall mission in this operation is to ensure that Iran can never again possess a nuclear weapon. That was the real imminent threat that was posed by Iran to the United States and our personnel in the region, and President Trump and the United States military are focused on tackling this threat every single day.
Caroline, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. So as the president demands this unconditional surrender from Iran, there is major movement in the U.S. energy markets. Crude oil right now is spiking. It's up 14%, topping $90 a barrel. In fact, right now it's at $92 a barrel. You've seen a drop in the U.S. stock market. Can you share with us the concerns the president may have, especially as gas prices are now, let's see, they're back up to $3.32 a gallon after dropping to $2.90 just 1 month ago, Caroline?
Well, rest assured to your audience and to the American people, this is long something that President Trump, his Energy Secretary Chris Wright, his Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have thought about and have been planning for and have already announced action in response to. Let me just walk you through the president's thinking on this. We have to focus on the short term and the temporary goals of Operation Epic Fury to obliterate the Iranian regime will be a very good thing for the energy and oil markets and for oil prices across the globe in the long term, when you no longer have a terrorist regime that is restricting the free flow of energy through the Strait of Hormuz and to the rest of the world. So that's number one. Number two, the president has also announced some tangible actions over the course of the last few days. First, to provide political risk insurance to cargo vessels in the region. Secondly, to ensure that there is a free flow of energy and that we are drilling expeditiously here at home and that we're tapping into these newfound markets targets in Venezuela as well. And then again, the president has also made that directive very clear to his energy team. And you saw Secretary Burgum was just in Venezuela yesterday with some of the world's biggest oil companies who have committed to investments. And Delcy Rodriguez herself said that they are working at Trump speed to tap into these markets. And then lastly, the president has also announced that the United States Navy will escort cargo ships through the region if and when necessary.
All right, so we'll look forward to that happening. Yesterday in the House, there was a vote that was taken to reaffirm the U.S.'s view that Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world. When a similar vote was taken 3 years ago, the vote was 420 to 1. Yesterday, 53 Democrats voted against that resolution, prompting Steve Scalise to say, quote, "We just had a vote in the House to simply affirm the fact that Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terrorism." 53 Democrats voted no. By denying this basic fact, these radical Democrats are defending the murderous Iranian regime and standing against America. I want to invite you to weigh in on this. And as you do that, we're going to put up on the screen here a scroll of all of the terror attacks that have occurred since 1979 at the behest of the Iranians. Go ahead.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Nearly 3 years ago in 2023, every single member of the House of Representatives, with the exception of one, voted together on this resolution condemning Iran as the world's state leading sponsor of terror.
Wow, guys.
This is not just long-standing bipartisan policy of the United States, but nearly every single country on the planet, especially Western countries, have agreed with this basic premise. And now in 2026, you have Democrats on Capitol Hill who have been so debilitated by their derangement and their hatred for the man in the Oval Office right now that they cannot even condemn the world's leading state sponsor of terror. Why? Because they are trying desperately to try to undermine President Trump's essential action that he took to protect the United States of America, to protect our bases and our troops in the Middle East, and to ultimately ensure a more safe and prosperous world, not just in the Middle East, but across the entire globe as well. And that's just 53 Democrats who have lost their minds. But if you look at Capitol Hill overwhelmingly across the board, and if you look abroad to countries around the world, the NATO Secretary General, even our partners in the Gulf and our Arab partners in the region, commending and thanking President Trump for finally having the courage to do what so many past American presidents on both sides of the aisles did not have the courage to execute, which is to finally, once and for all, end the threat posed by the rogue Iranian terrorist regime to the United States of America and to our people.
Well, Caroline, it happened live just about this time yesterday when we learned the news via President Trump on Truth Social that he would be nominating Senator Markwayne Mullin, the Republican from Oklahoma, to replace Kristi Noem as the DHS Secretary effective March 31st. Can you give us any further insight on that decision and the shakeup that we are seeing and what you expect the confirmation process to look like for Mullin?
Sure. Yeah, I know the president was very excited about Senator Markwayne Mullin moving into this role and being officially part of President Trump's team in the cabinet. The White House will be working with the Senate to confirm him as quickly as possible. And we thank Secretary Noem for her efforts over the past year. She will be moving into a new role at the State Department to oversee the new Shield of Americas. These are Western Hemisphere Latin American countries who are coming together both militarily and diplomatically to end the cartel trafficking, human trafficking, and drug trafficking in the Western Hemisphere through Latin American countries and ultimately to the United States of America. So this is a very important effort. And in fact, President Trump will be heading to Doral, Florida tomorrow to speak with 17 heads of states from the Latin American countries to talk about this new historic organization that the Trump administration has led the way on and has put together.
Yeah, we should also point out that tomorrow he'll be traveling to Dover, Joint Base Dover, to attend the dignified transfer of the remains of the 6 service members who were killed in the opening salvo that Iran launched at our forces. I wanted to come back to Iran, if I could here, because the president said that as he was in the Venezuela operation, he wants to be involved in whatever leadership takes over in Iran. He put this out on Axios yesterday. He said, "They're wasting their time. Khamenei's son is a lightweight. I have to be involved in the appointment, like with Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela. Khamenei's son is unacceptable to me. We want someone that will bring harmony and peace to Iran." I would assume that in order for the president to have a voice in whoever takes over Iran, there has to be absolute total capitulation, as the president said, unconditional surrender on the part of Iran. I mean, they're not a regime that's been known to offer unconditional surrender. Does he think he can get that done?
Well, what President Trump means when he says unconditional surrender is when he, as commander-in-chief of the United States military and the leader of the free world, determines that Iran can no longer pose a threat to the United States of America and to our troops and our personnel in the Middle East. That is, again, the ultimate goal of Operation Epic Fury, to annihilate their Navy, to take out their ballistic missile threat, which we have largely done in the course of just 6 days, and then, of course, to ensure they can never obtain a nuclear weapon, to significantly weaken their proxies in the region that have killed and maimed hundreds of Americans throughout the years. We've seen the Houthis and Hezbollah have hardly put up a fight over the past 6 days, so we're already well on our way to achieving the objectives of Operation Epic Fury. And when the president determines that Iran no longer poses that threat, that's when that unconditional surrender will take place. As for the next leader of Iran, the president has said, of course it's in the best interest of the United States to have a leader that is no longer chanting death to America, that is no
which is basically everything against everything that the new supreme leader that they picked is on. Basically, they say he's worse than the father. So yeah, there she goes, basically doubling down on what Trump said about Trump not being happy with the new supreme leader of Iran.
Longer conspiring behind our backs and lying to the American people and to our government about proliferating a new nuclear weapon, which Iran has been doing for decades. It's unacceptable to the president. That's why he decided to launch this operation, and that's his goal, and it will continue to be moving forward.
Caroline, we appreciate the private briefing. Will we be seeing and hearing from the president anytime this afternoon then?
Yes, you will. You'll see him at 4 o'clock this afternoon. He's hosting a college sports roundtable here at the White House with coaches and athletic experts from across the country. The president wants to save college sports. He signed an executive order on this topic last year. I know it's very important to him and to so many athletes across the country to fix the broken system. So you'll be hearing from him at that roundtable at 4 o'clock in the East Room here at the White House.
Great.
All right, so we heard from Caroline Leavitt, guys, who basically doubled down on some of the things that Trump said, basically when it comes to Iran, guys. We also heard from Trump himself, speak on why he attacked Iran, basically the situation with the school being hit by a Tomahawk missile over there in Iran, said that it wasn't them. It was Iran who did it to themselves. We also heard from Pete Hegseth, who basically broke down the plans for being over there in Iran. We heard from the Iranian foreign minister, who basically said that everything that Trump said was a lie, So we also heard about Pam Bondi. She's basically looking to be impeached, or the Democrats are trying to impeach her from her position as what is it? The Attorney General, guys, trying to get her up out of there. They trying to impeach her as well. We also what else did we get? Hakeem Jeffries, basically with the Democrats saying that he don't even know why we are over there fighting in Iran. There has been nothing put out that was substantial enough, in his opinion, for us to basically go to war with Iran, guys. Well, I gave y'all everything in my title. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Most definitely ran y'all down through there, gave y'all as many updates and facts as I could from mainstream media, guys. If you are just now getting here, double tap that screen. That's how you hit the like button. If you're on a mobile device, or you can click the 3 dots, hit that thumbs up. If you like this kind of entertainment, and basically I bring this kind of information day to day as it breaks, guys. And once again, I hope y'all like the show. And with that being said, shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. Make sure you keep on subscribing. I most definitely appreciate all my subscribers. And most definitely thank you and shout out to all of my members. I most definitely appreciate y'all as well. And shout out to all of my moderators, man. I know it get complicated down there sometimes with all these different opinions, but thank y'all for keeping the chat running smooth, guys. And with that being said, it's time for me to make my grand exit. I hope y'all enjoyed the show once again. Sidewalk Gang, checking out. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good. I'm gone.